The first one is abstain from taking a life, and the opposite of this is love. Um, because how this is perceived, these 10 precepts, it's as in you should abstain from doing this bad action, um, like taking a life, but it doesn't stop there. You also have to, as in, not because you're not taking a life, you are in the path or on the path of enlightenment. You also have to take the positive action, which in this case is love for this particular precept. And that's how you actually walk the path. And I guess I kind of like this approach because it's more as in, look, if you're a horrible person, let's start with simply abstaining. Just abstain from doing bad things, or don't worry right now from doing the good things. Just worry about not harming others. So that I like, it's like there is a bare minimum. You can focus on that. And then if you want to go a little above, then you have these positive actions to follow, so that you become enlightened or just want a prosperous life. So it's to kill a living creature is to inflict upon him the worst of evils, since life is the greatest of goods. And one shouldn't do anything upon another human being against their own will, meaning that one can't do it by force nor by violence. It also applies of when it comes down to emotional abuse or deceit. And it's because to kill someone is not only the extreme of what violence can look like, but it's also the complete negation of solidarity to another living creature. Without this rule, human society can't exist. No culture and no spiritual life. Therefore, to act from power means to interact with others in terms of violence, or in a way which one denies another being instead of affirming it. Dhammapada is a collection of Buddha's sayings in verse, and it's the most widely read. And in this Dhammapada there is one verse which says that if you look at yourself in other creatures, then who could you hurt? What harm could you do? One doesn't simply abstain from taking a life, but to act every day, a little bit more from love. This way, a change inside the individual can take place, as big as changing the center of gravity, as this Sangharákshita says it. And obviously in this I agree. In this I agree with him. We're with the 3 precepts of the body. Later on we're gonna go to speech and the mind. So maybe I'm getting ahead a little bit, but it's as in what I like of Buddhism is that you should also change your thoughts for yourself so that you can feel better with yourself, with your life, with your environment. And that way you will also, it will naturally start coming from you, these positive actions. And well, the reason I very much prefer this take of Buddhism compared to others is because it's not as in, if you think of something bad, then someone is gonna punish you because you shouldn't have thought of that. But it's more as in, you will feel better just by thinking in positive ways. And also, Buddhism doesn't say that it's easy. It's like, but it will help you. And by helping yourself, you will help others. So again, well, on that I agree. But again, it's because now we're talking about proper Buddhism. This observance of the first precept naturally translates in becoming a vegetarian, which I mean, I could agree. I mean, maybe because I'm vegetarian. I agree because we're talking about living creatures, living beings, not just human beings. As in, this solidarity extends to other species. I am not advocating for the entire world to become vegetarian or vegan, okay? Because I don't think it's possible anyway. So until here we're fine, but then he continues, because of course he has to continue. And it's also because at least vegetarian, as in vegetarianism, I do think it's an important part of Buddhism. And then he says that it also translates in naturally becoming against abortion, as in you shouldn't. So it's basically to not abort or encourage others who do it. I disagree. So this is why I was so sad of talking about this book as my first Buddhist book for the channel, because I like Buddhists and they're gonna hate me after this. But I have to criticize what it must be criticized. Anyway, coming back to the abortion department. So my take on abortion is this. It's not, I guess, a mainstream take. So my take is this. I support abortion to be legal in the first 3 months. And I support it mostly for all the rape victims. Having said that, I don't agree when abortion is taken as another measure to prevent pregnancy, because clearly you already got pregnant. So I don't. Not only I don't like, I really disagree, and I do think it's unethical when certain women, and I do think it's the very, very tiny minority, but the problem is that they also tend to be loud, when they go around saying that they have gone through, I don't know, several abortions. I mean, that's being irresponsible. So I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, I do think it should be legal, the 3 months. However, I do understand that some, and this is another part I don't fully like, when it's just addressed towards women. I mean, yes, they are the ones pregnant, and yes, you know, how is it? Your body, no, my body, my choice. But obviously, it's not that they got pregnant out of nowhere, you know. So there are responsibility on both sides. Only one actually pays it because of nature. But I guess, as in, my point is just like, it should be taken as something serious, and it should be for specific circumstances. I understand that because it's so difficult sometimes to prove rape. Actually, because sometimes it's difficult to prove it, it's because I think it should be like completely legal for everyone, even though some will misuse it. So anyway, that was my take on abortion. So I managed to make everyone angry. Then he also says that by following or by having the observance of this precept, it's like you should worry about the environment. You should oppose the production and use of nuclear weapons, and oppose the production of any other weaponry, and many more things. Oh, so I disagree. I mean, yes, in theory I agree with everything, but in practice it's not that simple. So I mean, I guess it's more as in, let's be smart and realistic about the problems that this world has. And okay, and before that, it's just like, again, from what I have experienced of Buddhism, I have never encountered anyone that says you should do this or you should believe this. Probably that's why I went close to Buddhism, because it was never political. And like it or not, this is political. Because, as in, why I guess he's trying to give examples on how you can apply it, but I would still disagree. Because first you're telling people what they should do or how they should be thinking, especially when he's giving so specific ones, like, and it's like, fine, all of these are debates. At the end of the day, I mean, even US, it's just like, yeah, of course, I would love this world to not have nuclear weapons, and I would love for all the weaponry to not exist and to never has existed. But obviously, it's not gonna happen. So it's just like, as in, because he is explicitly saying is to oppose this production, as in to actually take action against these things, or to care about environment. It's like, yes, you should care about environment, but I guess my problem is when he's saying, like, basically become an activist, because Buddhism says it, and it's, I mean, no. No, as in, if you want to become an activist, think what you're fighting for, look at the information, actually understand, and then go and do, don't just go and be like, oh, I don't want nuclear weapons, and it's like, okay, nuclear weapons is one thing, but let's, as in, I don't want weaponry. It's just like, I mean, do you really think you're gonna win that battle? So, and again, because it's someone that actually says it directly, just in his order on whatever, as in political actions that one should take. Because even I'm willing to give a pass to the vegetarian, not only because because I might be biased, but it's also because that is part of the lifestyle, because it's something you eat, I mean, again, I wouldn't agree on trying to persuade others to be a vegetarian, but until that, I would agree. But because the rest is not part of the lifestyle, you shouldn't be talking about this when you're talking about Buddhism. I think these are political statements. So every precept is gonna have a pillar with a specific gem or precious material as a metaphor. And this first precept is the diamond pillar, because it's the hardest substance known. Therefore, the way of love is stronger than the way of power, and it's in conditions to overpower it in all of its forms. I mean, I find it a little bit corny, but I mean, I would agree.